got a moment. When they see you down, just know they love it all that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back. On this podcast, I'll be highlighting and humanizing previously incarcerated individuals, along with some currently incarcerated individuals. You'll hear stories of people who came from the bottom, dug themselves out of the hole, perseverance, people who've been in federal prisons, state penitentiaries, homelessness, halfway houses, rehabs, county jails, all that stuff, like the bottom of the bottom, and that dug themselves out and doing wonderful things in society today. I'm hoping that maybe somebody who just got out and they're struggling with staying free, or they need the techniques and the tools and the knowledge. So I'm hoping maybe people could pick up a little bit from every guest I have on here. I really hope you enjoy the episode, and stay free, people. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hey everybody, welcome to the Bounce Back. You already know who I am. If not, my name is Bobby. I got a very special guest with me today. I have author, entrepreneur, licensed electrician, Spartan athlete, and philanthropist, man, and so much more, and just an overall great guy. And John, man, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome.
First thing I want to talk about, man, is the book. When did you decide you want to write a book? You said you was always into like journaling and all that stuff. Did you know when you were journaling, eventually that was the outcome you wanted to do, or did it come later?
It came later. Like, that was all just journal entries, and then later on I decided, you know what, I'm going to publish that. But it wasn't the intention. That was just for me.
So what got you into journaling? Because I know journaling is huge. A lot of people that I like watch on YouTube, a lot of successful people, one thing they always do is they keep like a journal.
Yeah, I've always kept a journal ever since I was young. It's just always kind of been like something therapeutic for me, writing stuff out. And yeah, just ever since I was young, I've kept a journal.
Yeah, no, there's definitely something to be said for physically getting what's up in here out, whether that's talking on paper, you know what I mean? It makes it more real, especially like feelings, emotions, all this crap we're going through, especially on the inside, where you really not really encouraged too much to show all that. That's more hidden. All those feelings, like you said, the crying, everybody cry, everybody want to cry, but you don't, you don't show that. You know, people facing a lot of time, all that stuff. So, like, that's a good way to
just get it all out there.
Yeah. So you was never worried about anybody trying to run up on your stuff to see, like, is this motherfucker writing about me, or not really?
No, like, everybody, kind of knew. At that time, I was journaling, but I was also, like, writing a manuscript, and everybody kind of knew. But then they would ask me, like, hey, what are you writing? And I'd tell them, like, I was doing a story. But, yeah, everybody just kind of just left me alone.
Word, man. So enlighten me on the process to having this paper full of stuff, to having it published. And
so like I said, that was just journals I kept from the inside, and yeah, at one point I said, if I can get this out there and it can help somebody and they can see what I went through and maybe say I don't want to go through that, then that's what it was for. And I started looking into Amazon Kindle, and it was just an easy process where you just type it in and you can upload it to their platform and they distribute it for you, they market it, yeah. So it was I had all the material, cool, and then was just typing it in to Amazon.
How'd you go? Now I love the cover art too,
that was
right?
all me. I designed that.
You did. Yeah, man. Because I'm even starting to do like the YouTube and the It's not as easy as it looks at first, man. That's a great job right there. I'd have paid someone for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was all me. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I was reading in there the diesel therapy.
Oh my God,
bro. I've been to Plymouth, and the Plymouth to Cambridge trip. I mean, there was days I didn't get back till 11 p.m., man, and that's like the dog kennel. Yeah. That's brutal. Did you have the box home?
You had
was
the
that
box
system
on
on? Oh
yeah.
my God.
So like I just wrapped up my federal sentence, and then I still had an open state case, and they said Massachusetts is coming up here. I was in upstate New York, and they said Massachusetts is coming for you, and I figured they were gonna come up with like a bus or like a state patrol car or something. So I said, yeah, that's fine. And they came and they boxed me up, they brought me out, and it was just a transport van, like you going to court.
Yeah,
they opened the door, and it was jam packed, man. And like both sides.
Yeah, so one guy was like there for 13 days at that time.
I said, this is crazy. I'm not getting in there. They said, you got to get in. I squished me in, shut the door, and then one of the guys was like, yo, like, where are we right now? And I said, we're out in upstate New York. Like, what the fuck? They didn't drop me off. We were just over here in New Hampshire. man, I've been here 6 days. I've been here 13. I thought they were
That's
fooling. I'm like,
crazy.
there's no way, you know. And sure enough, I was on that van for 6 days, man.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
that's what they call it, diesel therapy.
Diesel therapy.
So you-
Schizophrenic sitting next to me, bugging out.
Yeah,
It was bad.
And how was like, I mean, the hygiene and all that too.
yeah,
Like
dude.
you went to these different jails, what, to stay the night? Did you have access to showers? What was that like?
I don't remember any showers. I think it was every 48 hours they would house you at a local jail. I remember just getting in late and then leaving like real early in the morning. They would just give you the green monster to sleep on.
Yeah, they have no toothbrush, nothing like that.
No.
That's vicious. That's vicious, man.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And
That's
just
vicious.
no showers, the body odor. Like I said, people flipping out in
Yeah,
there, losing their
yeah.
minds.
They're like, what did you do? Mentally, kind of
Yeah,
just.
and the transport guys, like I don't know how that's legal to drive people around like that, but it's a privately owned company, and it was just I don't know, it was bad. Like they would drive there was 2 guards, 8 hours on, and then the other one would take over while they were sleeping. And I remember like
Jeez.
2:00 in the morning, we came out, we almost got T-boned. Like
Yeah, I'm sure they're tired driving and all that stuff too.
I didn't think I was getting out of there, man. To be honest.
How many stops between New York and Massachusetts?
About
And I'm sure it wasn't a direct route.
There was no rhyme or reason. We were up in New York to New Hampshire to Maine, back to New Hampshire to Massachusetts. They didn't let me out.
Damn.
To somewhere else, and
Wow.
you know, and then finally 6 days later, they pulled up to Woburn Superior. Said, "John Kinney, off. This is your start." You know,
Finally, man, that must have been like, I don't know. Oh man,
yeah.
that's a
6
lot.
days, I got out lucky though. Like I said, there was other kids in there for like 2 weeks. You know,
Right? Yeah, like you said, someone was there already 13 by the time you got there, and I guess he was probably still there the whole time until you left.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
And you're just
vicious.
in there like really confined with strangers that are from all different walks of life, and like I still have knee problems to this day. and I
Yeah,
think
ass
it's
is
from that.
killing just from sitting there.
Yeah, you just go numb. You know.
Yeah, that's wild. How was so you were upstate New York, Raybrook? I've heard of Raybrook.
Raybrook.
How
yeah.
was that, man? That's got to be intimidating. That's got to be intimidating too, especially you was in like a holding before for like a week. Your mind must have all been like fear of the unknown, right? Like you of course we always make things out to be worse in our heads than what it's gonna be.
Yeah, it was.
And especially
It was terrifying. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Taking the bus there with all these other guys, and I'm looking around, and you could tell everybody was scared.
Yeah.
And we get there, and then right away it was different from like the counties and stuff like that. It's all by like where you're from, the 038.
Oh yeah, the 038
And,
car. You mentioned that. Yep.
And they had already known that I was coming, and they came right up when I got off the bus. You rolling
So
with us.
they get wind beforehand, so they're
Yeah.
already knowing.
There was actually one guy on the bus that they were waiting because they know he was no good. And dude got off the bus, checked right in.
Yeah.
You know, they were waiting for him.
Oh yeah, it's vicious there. Whitey Bulger didn't last too long when he made his move to I forget, somewhere in Virginia or something
Hazleton,
like that, man. Damn. So you said you had the Massachusetts case. What happened with that when you got back? Because I felt like the book kind of almost ended right.
So the Massachusetts, I was
Just-
real young, was running around robbing banks, caught a bank robbery case, and at that point in my life, I had no record. So I got George Murphy from my lawyer. He was
I know of him. Yeah.
He was like the #1 lawyer for getting
Absolutely.
deals. And basically, I waited like 2.5 years, waiting trial, and they got sentenced to time served with 5 years state probation.
Okay.
Open. So it's like if you.
So
get
then
in-
you walked into court and then you got out that day.
Yeah, so I wrapped up my federal sentence, and then they took me in for violating my probation, basically. And I forget how it worked out, but he ended up getting it wrapped up with the state shit somehow. But I thought I was going to Concord, and I got released that day. So it was like a huge surprise.
Yeah, that's the best. I think remember the most thing that's kind of relevant to that for me, I feel like when I was in juvie and they let me out like a week early before I was about to age out. So and even that was like damn, and that was like because I knew like the way it was like my charge in juvie, it was like it held like whatever 8 to 12 months and I was only in 4 of 5, so they could have extended it. You know what I mean? And I'm always like, man, I'm expecting the worst, hope for the best. And
always.
So that must have been like. That's tough though too because now you're coming out. You don't really have a reentry plan, correct? Or did
I
you
was
just in case
lucky.
prepare enough?
I'm lucky. Like I had a great support system, great family. So like it was a surprise. I called my dad. He works in Woburn, and my dad came right over, picked me up, and walk outside to the blue sky.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
That's big to have that support system because a lot of
Huge.
people don't have this.
A
Man,
lot,
and
yeah.
like especially someone does like make 20 years. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
lose everybody after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You get out.
people feel lost. So that's definitely good to have a support system
Yeah,
when
even-
you get out and while you're in there, especially.
$25 a week goes a long way in there.
Oh yeah, big time.
If you
big
don't
time.
have that,
like
it's-
like you break down too all the hustles in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I did the when I was in Concord for a little bit. I ran the sports book, and pretty much how it happened was I was pretty much middlemaning for someone else on the block.
Yep.
Eventually, he left. You know, everybody's
take
already
it
putting the
over.
bets with me anyway. Yeah, and that's pretty much how that happened. And then I had like a cellmate who made big canteen and ran the store for him, and he
Yep.
liked to play cards. And because I didn't make like a big bag every week, you know what I mean? Like I had a cellmate, man. He used to make fun of me, not like make fun of me seriously, but man, I'd get like a envelope under the door and it'd say like $17. He's like, he's like, why? I'm like, because bro, that's like literally my mom's last 20.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep.
So that's the stamp, that's the envelope. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a good kid. You know, he was from the Cape. You know, he didn't come up as poor as I did, and it was just like he's like that's solid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But what took you from robbing the banks, man? That's how the book starts, man. You said you had the police scanner. Like you was really
yeah, it was. I
you
did
watched
watch
too much
many
movies
as a
and stuff.
kid. Yeah, it started off innocently enough. Like I was gonna make this big plan. I took a week off vacation from work, and I was plotting this whole thing out. Just as,
So like you're working, you're making money at this time. Are you selling?
at
drugs
that
at
time,
time,
no, I was just working. I was an electrical apprentice, but I was on the state rate jobs, making good money.
Yeah.
So there was no need to do it. It was just
You weren't struggling with addiction and nothing like
Nothing,
that.
man,
Like that's
nothing.
it was
Yeah.
just for the thrill of it.
it turned into like planning something out hypothetically to like, oh, I think I could really do this.
But sometimes you want to test yourself to see, like, man, I got just as much balls as those motherfuckers that they make movies about. Because you know the actors, they're just the actors. They're not even the real people who do it. But yeah, that's wild, man. That takes a lot of guts.
I mean, it was
Because I
so
can't
long
even
ago.
like shoplift. Now, if we're doing like street stuff, and that's different to me. But like shoplift and stuff like that, I just get nervous.
Yeah.
Like I just look like I'm stealing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's wild for me, man.
Yeah, it was
Robbing
as
the
a
bank.
young kid. I was just, I don't know, just wild. I was wild, you know.
And so, how did the feds get? The feds were involved with the trafficking.
So I've been arrested twice in my life, and it was by FBI.
And those
two
are
times.
those are your only two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got mine and stuff, but I like DUIs that I always beat and everything. So I arrested 2 times by the
Yeah.
feds.
Wow.
You know?
So and then when you go
Yeah.
hard. You don't have
Yeah.
no part time.
Yeah.
You didn't like get your feet wet start with like that's what a lot of people think too, like gateway drugs, just for gateway crimes. Probably like you start shoplifting, and then next thing you want to take it from people, and next thing you know, robbing banks, selling drugs, all that crazy stuff, man. So man, that's wild. How long? I want to talk a little bit about like now what you're doing too, you know, because whatever, like on paper, you know, you're bank robbers, but like you're a entrepreneur, man. You're an author now. You're a licensed electrician. How long have you been doing the electrical? And do you think somebody just getting out, you think that's a good career for them to pursue the schooling and all that stuff? You think is it worth it?
Yeah, like I got into electrical in high school, started taking it at Cambridge, Ringe and
Oh,
Lyons.
okay.
And,
Mr. Walker?
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yep,
See,
Mr. Walker.
I would have never. Yeah. Wow. Yep.
And I don't know, I just loved it. I stuck with it. And then from that class, I just answered an ad in the Boston Herald and started an apprenticeship, just started learning. Then I was like, I think, I want to make a career out of it, started going to school. But I love it, and there's so many different aspects of it. There's so, like, you could do commercial, residential, industrial, and there's so much new stuff coming out with the EV chargers and LED lights.
Yeah.
And I find it
Fascinating.
Love it.
Yeah, that's like me when I first got. I did the HVAC school, and there was the small electrical component to that and all that stuff. But there's so many aspects to it. Like you
Yeah.
could just do boilers. You could
Right.
just do duct work.
Yep.
You could get someone who knows just duct work but wouldn't know how to troubleshoot anything. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
There's the installs, the troubleshooting, and it was just so much to it. And that's one thing too, man. When I was back upstate, I was involved in some college too, and it's just like I didn't realize how much I actually love to learn, you know, if it's
Yeah.
something I'm actually interested in, you know what I
yep.
mean? Like in school, I did well enough with my grades, but it was more like I did it just to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't put like the time, you know, and plus too in school, after school, there's so much more distractions, whereas on the inside, you have nothing but time, and people
Right.
who waste that time, I mean, I don't see how they do it. And like how you say people walk around, the oxymorons, the drug seekers,
Yeah,
man.
man.
And I understand it's a sickness and all that stuff too, but a lot of times the hard work's already done for people, man. You got that shit out of your system. Now it's all mental.
Yeah, you're at rock bottom, and it's build yourself up.
It's tough.
But for the electrical, one quote I love is every year they say there's 10 electricians retiring and only 7 new ones coming in. So there's huge demand, and I definitely recommend people getting into that field.
That's amazing. Any skill that you can learn and then master it, you know, you got to take it serious, especially like if you're going to be an electrician. It's not like just school. You got to kind of just do it. Like, this is your career. This is how you want to make money. Why wouldn't you like invest your actual time and concentration
try to be the best
into it,
you know?
Into it. And especially coming out of jail, I feel like anything, if you don't have work, try to find a class, a school, something to structure your day, because otherwise you're just gonna get caught back up in like the same people. Like, sometimes you can't even help it. You come out and like some people come out to a family full of criminals, like, and it's just around them. And you're sitting there broke, and you're seeing people doing what you used to do and how easy it is, and all you need to do really is go pick up that pack, because the setting's already there for you to you're kind of already in it. Some people, not everybody. And it's easy to get caught up in that, especially, you know, certain neighborhoods and all that stuff, man. But what made you decide to go from just being an electrician to now you want to do your own company? Because that's a big step, man.
It is.
That's scary.
Yeah, and I had a good job. They were paying me good. They gave me a company vehicle, an apprentice, and I really didn't have to do much. But it was one day they sent me out on a service upgrade, and I can do by myself. And I saw that what they were charging, what I was getting paid
for that, and
there was a big discrepancy there.
Right.
And I said, you know, like I can do this myself, and it was a big leap, but I took it, and it's just been rewarding ever since. You know, there's no looking back.
That takes a lot of it's a risk.
It's a leap of faith.
Yeah, but it's faith in yourself too, which is like if there's one thing in the world that you should have faith in, you should be able to, you know, at least yourself. You know what I mean? If maybe not all the other humans that are out there and all that stuff. So that's Kenny Electric. When did you start that exactly? What year? Was this during COVID or before COVID?
So I worked for myself before in like 2018 to 20, and then throughout my apprenticeship, I was doing small side work on the side. Then I got my license. Then I think right when I got licensed, I created the business, but I was still working for other people.
Yep.
And then
and would you start just doing nights and weekends, side jobs whenever you could, and then
build
eventually
it up, and then you had the clientele. Then I said, you know, I'm at the point now where I can keep myself busy. And
now, a lot of your clientele, word of mouth, technology, like I know.
So like I've tried all, like Home Advisor, Angie's List. I've tried all of it. I think Yelp is the best. I do a small budget on Yelp. And that's been good for keeping me busy. But then from there, it's like every customer, I want them to refer me to 5 of their friends, and I've been getting a lot of word of mouth business too. That's huge.
Yeah, that's what I noticed when I was working as a laborer for my uncle. He was doing landscaping and masonry, and a lot of times he'd be doing a job, and the neighbors would come up.
Yep.
Do mine too, or they would tell somebody, and a lot of it, they say the best way is word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
You can trust certain people, you know what I mean? You go on the internet, it's tough because everybody's trying to sell you something. There's always an angle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I try
it's a
to
little
be
tougher.
fair.
Yeah.
I try to be fair, man. You know, and my prices, I did a lot of research. I'm right in the middle, and I look at the competition. I think we're better. I mean, I honestly, I think we work better. We clean up after ourselves.
How big is the company?
So I'm still growing, but
yeah.
I got a girl in the office, and then I got 2 crews of 2 guys.
That's a legit company.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just one person doing it all. And so you're delegating, which I'm sure is huge.
Yeah.
Are you still the main electrician out in the field?
So I haven't been working out in the field as much as I like to. I've been doing like behind the scenes stuff, estimates.
Well, that's what it's all about too, man.
But I'd like to eventually get somebody like doing more of that stuff so I can get back out there with the tools.
Yeah. So walk me through the lady Gloria. Gloria's Gladiators, man. I saw that, man.
Yeah.
I was so proud of you, man.
Thank you, man.
That was so amazing. I'm like, man, I know that dude, man. And he's like me, man. He's like an ex-con. He's not like some, like, we're people, man. Like, the whole thing is, we make mistakes. We make bad mistakes sometimes.
Right.
Worse than other people, but they're still just mistakes. They're not who we are as a person.
Right.
But yeah, walk me through Gloria, how that went down, man. That was such a heartfelt story.
What a story. So I had just gone off on my own, and at that point, it was just me and a helper. And I got a call from an old lady. She said she had spark shooting from a light fixture. And I went over there. She had no lights on. And I said, we'll get the lights going. And at some point, she said she didn't have money to pay for it. And right away, she reminded me of my Nana. So I told her, we're going to take care of this. We're going to get the lights on for you. Don't worry about it. We got the lights on. Long story short, we turned the lights on. I mean, the ceiling was coming down. Her plumbing wasn't working. She told me she had animals in there. It was bad. The roof was caving in. Like the portion of the house had collapsed. So I got the lights on. I told her, I said, hey, like, I live close by. If you need any help, you call me. I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And I left. I went hiking that weekend. It just stuck with me. I said, I got to go back over there. So I went back that Monday, knocked on her door, and I said, hey, like, I got friends. We can come over here. We can do some yard work for you, help you out. And she said, yeah, like, you can do that. And it just started with me and some friends. And I put a Facebook post. More people came in, and it blew up, man. Out of control. It was one of the biggest fundraisers in Facebook history.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, we raised like
That's
over
amazing.
$110,000. We were able to do like over $200,000 worth of renovations.
That's
Rebuilt
amazing.
her house.
That's amazing that you say
Yeah.
that too, like how that reminded you of your grandmother. Because that's
Yeah.
honestly, when I see strangers on the street, that's how I see an old lady, how would I want someone to treat my grandmother?
Yeah,
if I
man.
see maybe someone my mom's age, dad's, a child, how would I want somebody to treat my child, my
Yeah,
niece?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's cool that you say that too.
And it just spiraled. We helped her, and then like it kept growing. It got national attention, and then like other groups were spawning up and all over the country, and other people were getting help. So it was pretty amazing. And the coolest thing about it was my daughter's 9. She's 10 years old now, but she got to witness the whole
Yeah.
thing. Like,
And
it's-
yeah, that's big.
that's huge for somebody that small to see like that you can really make a difference in the world. Is just
Absolutely.
it was all worth it just for that. you
Yeah,
know?
that's amazing. That's so heartfelt, heartwarming, man. And seeing it on the news, all that. And I
Yeah.
seen like how you originally first did it. You started the
a lot of
group.
people didn't see how it all started.
Yeah,
but,
because I've known you. We
Yeah.
were friends on social media and all that stuff. So that was to see it blow up like that. I was
Yeah.
like, man, good for you, man.
Wild.
That was cool, bro.
Yeah, wild.
Absolutely. And I'm always trying to find ways to help too. And sometimes I don't know how to. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
kind of why I'm trying to do this in a way to help
Yeah,
too. You
and
know
I
what I
think
mean?
it's great. I think this is great. And you have an opportunity to help a lot of people with this.
I appreciate that. So.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the episode. I appreciate it. On this week, I want to highlight Cambridge Bike Give Back. And my man Larnell for all the wonderful things he's doing with the community. Pretty much Cambridge Bike Give Back. They take all the donated bikes that may be broken, fix them up and give them back in the neighborhood and circulate them back in the neighborhood. Give them to kids, preteens, teenagers, adults. It don't even matter. You need a bike, go to Cambridge Bike Give Back. If you want to give back, if you got old bikes lying around, make sure you look them up. I'm going to leave the link to the Instagram in the description. Cambridge Bike Give Back. Back to the episode. Peace.
One thing too I noticed that's constant in the book and in doing time, in which I relate to a lot too, is the working out.
Yeah,
The
that,
work
yeah.
how, because for me, I look back, I didn't know it at the time, but like looking back, I'm like, man, that's what got me through all of that. Really,
Yeah.
like I didn't really much, like I ran the store, but I wasn't much for like gambling. Like a lot of times, even that was too much. But like playing cards, I didn't even play cards much like that. It was
Yeah.
like reading, but working out was big. And looking back, like I said, that's what got me through that. And that's why I still try to work out today, because I'm like,
Yeah.
man, if working out got me through that hellhole, the worst time of
Yep.
my life ever, if I'm just working out here, I'm sure everything else
Yeah.
is gonna be all right. And
Yeah.
something, it just brings your frequency higher mentally, all that stuff, man. It helps with depression, man. I was on depression meds at one point, and it was just like, I'd much rather just do the working out thing,
Yeah.
man. Medication is really, I've always been kind of like, I don't know, against, like, I feel like if I'm doing it every day, it's gonna change my my mental, like my brain, and I
Makeup,
won't
yeah.
be me. But like, yeah, talk to me about working out. Okay, when did you start working out? Were you one of the people started in jail?
Yeah, I think
what-
it was like in jail. I don't remember working out much on the street. I think there was
like
a
how
lot-
much athletics did you do growing up?
Not, I wasn't involved.
Little
with
league,
much.
not really. So okay,
No,
so
I
not
tried-
even that really.
Yeah, I wasn't really into like the sport. I was always just smoking pot,
Yep.
you know. But in jail, I think it just helped, like you said, with
Mm.
the stress, with everything. I think there was a line in the book too, like I did a vicious workout, try to make my body feel some of the pain. That's
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
head,
yeah.
You know, And,
Absolutely. I definitely felt that.
Yeah, it was just my whole thing was I didn't want to waste time. That was my I can't waste time, so I got to do something productive. I got to write, and then at this time I got to work out. I always had like a schedule in there, you know.
In there too, there's not many things that are in our control. So it's like the one thing that you can make a difference in. One of the few things is you can your mind, but like your physical fitness, like you said, you had people in there that were like, yeah, I'll work out when I get out.
Yeah, that always stuck with me. I'll start working out when I get home.
Yeah, I used to remember the thing in county was like, oh, no, I'm gonna work out when I get upstate, the freeways.
Yeah,
I'm like, you gotta use them, right? You just can't just look at them. like you might as well build the foundation now. Even working out now, like on the strip, man, I won't even touch a weight for like the first 60 days, 90 days, especially if it's been a while, because I try to build that foundation. But yeah, fitness is big. So what made you get into the Spartan stuff, man? That was cool.
Dude, Spartans. Something got me into the CrossFit. And that, because I was going to Planet Fitness with the Walkman on, and I wasn't really getting a workout in, and CrossFit really changed everything. I went there and it's all structured. They have the workout set up. They're expecting you to be there, and it's vicious workouts. And I just fell in love with that, doing that early in the morning. And then some of the kids in there started telling me about the Spartan races.
Oh, okay.
And I looked at it, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. Start with the 5K, got hooked.
Yep. Yeah, I did the 5K, and it was about just setting goals and doing them, and something to be said for that confidence building and stuff. Like saying you're gonna do something and actually following through. And then doing it. So yeah, I wanted to definitely do the Spartan race there too. But so the CrossFit's kind of like HIIT training, right? Like high intensity.
Yeah, high intensity. Like calisthenics, a lot of the barbell work, cleans and deadlifts and all that stuff.
A lot of full body stuff too, right?
And it just, I go in the morning, it wipes me out. It just kills, and it just mellows me out for the whole day. It's so good. It's so good. I wish I found it sooner.
Yes. See, I've never been the workout in the morning type. I like. Well, for just now, schedule wise, I'm more. Let me do it after work. You know what I mean?
I try, man. If I don't get in the morning, I won't do it.
Okay, see me, I'm I have it at night because it's something to look forward to for the day. You know what I mean? That's even on the inside. I would work out at night because even when you're talking about Plymouth, man, those recs at night would be.
Oh my God.
You would never think you would be ready to go back in the set, in the cell, and those were long recs, man.
Those 2-3 hour recs.
Something like that, 2.5, 3 hours. Yes, it was
7 to 10 or something.
Yeah, it was crazy. It seemed like forever. So that would be take care of maybe an hour and a half, and then it's the phone, shower phone, and that was about that. You know what I mean? But So it's the Spartan. Which Spartan races did you do now? So we just did the one at Fenway, right? You did that in the morning, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't get my headband because I think I came too late.
Oh,
they ran out, I think. Yep. But so you did that one.
So I did that one. So last year was 2022. So I did the trifecta. So I did a 10K, a 21K, and the 5K. So I did the 5K in New Hampshire, and then I flew out to Arizona for the 10K, and that was freaking awesome. Yeah. And you running through the desert. That was really cool. And after I did that, I said, you know what? I'm gonna kick up the training and go for the 21K. And there was one out in Montana. I traveled out to Montana for that. Yeah, and that was up a mountain. You run up to the top and you're looking out over glaciers, and it was wild.
Beautiful views and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
And you're real big into to hiking too a lot, right?
Yeah.
Just those views. I should go more. I went with my girl a couple months ago, but there's something being up there, nature, all that stuff,
ultimate
man.
Freedom. Ultimate freedom.
Yeah, it's you're looking down on the rest of the world. It's they don't get it. You know what I mean? While you're up there, it's you know something nobody else knows. Man, they don't get it. None of that's important.
It's so addicting. It's so addicting. So there's 4,000 foot mountains in New Hampshire, and for a lot of people, it's a big thing to hike all of them. And they say 16,000 people have hiked all of them. And I just finished. It took me 3 years. I finished all 48, and it's just amazing up there. You get up there on the ridge and the presidentials. You're out miles away from anybody. There's no other human. You could go hours and hours without seeing anybody else. It's just the ultimate freedom, and you got to be prepared to survive out there. People are dying.
See, and my girl was making fun of me because I was bringing granola bars. I'm yeah, man, just in case. I don't know. I'm not trying. She's like, we're not. I think we're in Blue Hills or something, which is probably nothing compared to those places. But I'm bringing, just in case, man. I would, like you said, watch TV, all that stuff. I'm not trying. I'm a city kid, so I don't know much about finding north, all that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I wouldn't even know how to survive, really, which is kind of scary looking at it, because all technology in the world now has kind of took us humans away from where we started, you know what I
Right.
mean? And it puts it in perspective.
The mountains are wild though. Like people are dying up there all the time, and each mountain is like such an accomplishment to get to. You know, because some of them it's a whole day you're out there. You know.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I've only done like a couple out, and then it was starting to get dark too, and that's what really I was starting to get a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we know where we're at, and there was a second where, cause she was going there all the time, and she was, oh, I don't know. I'm like, oh my god, don't say that, man.
Yep.
It's scary though, but like being in nature, it definitely puts all that stuff
I
in
love
perspective, man. And then you were talking about too, Raybrook had the view, like the mountain.
Yeah,
that's got to be
that
at
was-
least something on there, man. That's,
So I was in Plymouth for 2 years on a
The
just
rec
a
deck.
unit. Yeah, so it was just a long ride there throughout the night, and then you get there and it's like mountains, surrounded by mountains. I was walking the yard, there's deer on the other side of the fence. I couldn't believe it.
yeah.
They had softball tournaments. I was like it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wild.
I know you had mentioned that too. Like, I can't believe that was one of the things too when I noticed about Concord, man. That they all sorts of like they had the free weights. Like you said, they're giving
Yeah.
people baseball bats and
yeah.
all that type of
We got
stuff.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream up there.
Yeah, that was cool.
amazing.
That's cool to hear, man. I mean, a lot of people must overdo it with that though. That's got
Yeah.
a temptation, man. But yeah, so it was like like going upstate, and especially like Plymouth, you're contained. You're not even leaving for chat. So it's like for me, what I like kind of how I say is like when I got to Concord and it was so open, I'm like I felt like I was on like a college campus. I was like I like lost almost like which way do I even go? I'm like, oh, this guy looks like he been here before. Like
Yep.
we look like you know where he's going. Whereas they're like, yeah, go to medical, and I walk out. I'm like, where the hell's medical? Everybody's kind of just going their own way.
It was a good feeling to be able to just like walk around in open space. I remember that, and it's just.
But that's gotta be wild too. Kind of being feds is like you with people from the whole country. Like you go upstate, it's just, but it's still all Mass. Like I'm with people from Springfield, man. The whole Mass. Mass is a small state compared to all all these other states.
And it's weird in the feds. Like the 038 is like one of the biggest and most respected cars like all around. You know.
Yeah. Yep. That's the Boston car you said, right?
Yeah.
And they knew you was coming right up there. And all that stuff, man, and
set me right up, big bag, sneakers, shorts, radio. Right when I got there, it was good.
That's
man.
good because that's how it used to be, like in Billerica too. But man, this last time I went in 2018, everybody's separated, so it's like trying to get a bag from another block.
Yeah,
you got to use a CO to do that. You can't even really have like a runner or anything. Like it's such a hassle, and it took like 4 or 5 days to finally get stuff from my boy. But then Canteen had already come, and it's like that's the whole point of setting people up because it takes like a while for the radio to come, the Canteen to come, especially if you come certain part of the week where Canteen's already due or past due or whatever, man. And another thing I want to get into, man, the whole time. It seems like you did a lot of whole time, man. I've only done 10 days most straight, and I mean eventually it starts to go, but then 10 days ain't a long time neither. So I can imagine after.
You were in the Billerica basement.
I was never in the Billerica basement, so I was in in Cambridge, and then
was that on the 20th floor?
That was
right.
That was right by the old gym and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then there was another lockdown in the back, and I was in like both of those. And then when I was in the hole in Billerica, no, it was when they changed. The new building was open. I don't think the wine cellar, right? That's what they called it. The wine cellar was open. I was just on the first tier or whatever it was. A or B or C and D, the other side, and all that stuff. But what was the most consecutive whole time that
So I
you
think
did?
like I did 30 days that time, and it started with a fight, and I got 10 days. But then like 10 days feels like you're down there for like a month, and
right.
I felt like I forget what exactly happened. I thought I should have got mail that I wasn't getting, and they sent me books they weren't letting me get, and the guards down there were like messing with me. I wasn't getting my shower, so I was like I was like I'm gonna flood out myself.
Yeah.
I got to that point, I flooded out, and then they buried me down there for like 30 days. They bundled me, man. I like broke my big toe. Like that was one of the worst nights of my life.
Yeah, that ain't right, man. They jump you, they beat you up.
Yeah.
Like,
But I do have, as crazy as it sounds,
up,
I got a couple of good memories down there because I think there's 5 cells on either side. I was down like in the middle of one side, and there's a couple kids down there, and we were playing like like friggin' guess this tune from our cell. We kept each other busy.
Yeah.
We had workout schedules. Right. At night, I told a ghost story. It was like, dude, I had these dudes hanging out.
That's cool,
and they enjoyed it. They were hanging on every word.
Well, especially such like a small amount of people, 5, you could kind of get like anything more than that, then it starts to get cliquey, and then people are having different schedules. Right. Some people want to talk all night. Some people want to sleep all night. All that stuff.
It was
man.
A good crew down there. It was.
But
30 days is a long time to be.
The mental health, man. What kept you from, just like you said, just those small things, right? Just make it through this day today.
Yeah,
without losing my shit.
Yeah, my dad came through. I got a couple good books when I was down there that helped, and just the working out with the cellmates, being able to talk through the doors, and it was like, I remember there was a buzzing on my light, and it was like that for 15 days, and then day 16 it just stopped, and I remember that like bothering me, like what the hell.
Oh, you're so used to
you stop bugging out.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy the situations that you get put in there too,
and you adapt, and then like all right, go back up to the block, and then you go back up to regular jail, and you feel like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah,
like, I got a radio now, like.
Right, and then it's the thought starts to creep in the head, like, oh, this ain't so bad. But that's kind of the worst thing that could happen, because especially when you get out, and it's easier to, once you get out, to be like, it wasn't so bad once you're already out. But no, you got to keep it, no, this shit sucks, man. Yeah. And I think you had said you had something in your journal, something like that, but I don't know. But last time I was in, I wrote me a letter, like, dear future self.
Really?
Don't ever, like, I got it somewhere. Don't ever forget, like, these places suck, bro. You're better than this. This is not you.
And I think that was a lot of my inspiration, too, for my writing. So because I still do, man. I still go back and, like, damn, I remember that, you know?
And you can see the growth, too, like, as a person, like, looking back, like, man, like, I thought much differently now. Like, now if this happened, I would handle it a lot more differently. But it just sucks too, because being in there, man, a lot of times, like you say, man, they cage you like an animal. Eventually you're gonna start acting like animals. People start fighting. People just want to like, you had the incident with the radio. Like, I feel like a lot of times it's the finesse game in there too. It's not, people ain't really trying to punk you out and punk you out like that. They're more trying to be sneaky about it. Which is like, that's like the coward. There's too much, I don't know, it's a lot of that coward way to go about it. If you're going to try to punk me, just try to punk me.
Right.
You know, at least I know, because I don't like the head game. Like, I don't like playing all those little games. But you got to kind of learn it, you know what I mean? Like, this dude, everybody got an angle. You know, you can't really take nothing from face value. But that's why it's good to kind of, when we see a familiar face from the outside, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you can, there's at least somewhat of a trust there and all that stuff. And like you said, the racial politics, man. It's like, I was just talking to my boy earlier, and I was talking about, like, just racism in general. A lot of times it's kind of like, for me, it's almost like an unintelligent take. It's like, nobody ain't choose to be, we weren't chose to be born, never mind how we love, you know what I mean? If you're gonna hate somebody, hate them for their actions, how their character, stuff like that, not something that they had no choice in the matter. You know what I'm saying? If you want to call someone, I mean, I know it's rude, you don't want to fat shame, but you want to be like, that's a fat, lazy fucking slob. At least I can kind of see that you're coming at someone's character and they're like something that's in their control for the most part, like color. If I'm a guy or a girl, like, or at least born a guy or girl, like, none of that was nobody's choice. And it's like, the older I get, I'm like, man, I don't really get the whole racism thing. But it is kind of, it's just one of those things, like, ideology and idealistically how things could be compared to how things are. And you kind of have to adapt to how things are. You know what I mean? And, like, stupid shit, man. What did I got in a fight because somebody stole my mail and was trying to write to people on the streets, bro. And I'm like, it's the principle, too. I'm like, first of all, you only know these people by the name that's on the envelope. That could be a 4-year-old girl, bro. That could be a 60-year-old grandmother. You don't know, bro. You just taking somebody's name and writing to it. And so, like, I'm not sitting around walking around like a tough guy wanting to fight everybody, but it's like, I can't let that slide. You can't let shit like that slide,
I just said that to somebody. Like, in jail.
Like, it's not about anger. People think, oh, he's a violent person. No. He's so angry. I'm like, it's not about the anger. It's about putting a stop to certain things before it gets too far. Especially in there, because there ain't no escaping. You can't just go home. Staying, you know what I mean? It's like all around you, bro.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
what with the radio. It's like a $10 radio, but
Like,
now I gotta fight.
Yeah, like you really
over
gonna try to
this?
finesse me over?
Yeah.
Like, come on. How did you even think I'm not gonna recognize it, or
Yeah,
they just thought you wasn't gonna say nothing?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times too, like being white guys too. I think a lot of people, they're not raised around like white guys that really put in work and get in and fight. Like I
Right.
don't know, but they see people like as an easy victim, and it's like I'm not gonna be that one.
Yeah,
So,
that's how I felt. Like you were trying to get over, and I'm not gonna let
Yeah.
that happen, you know. And I was so proud of myself with that one, man. There's been shit where like I've lost, or I wish I didn't go about, but that.
Well, sometimes afterwards you don't even realize you got finessed till after, and then or
Yeah.
it might be too
Late
late,
to
kind
do
of shit. Like,
something.
you know, it's like damn, but yeah.
That I was very proud of how he handled that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy too, man. And
That actually, the guy retired off that fight. One of the guards tackled me, dislocated his shoulder, and then he got hit in the face. His glasses broke, scratched his retina, and the guy
Oh, shit.
retired off of
Oh.
that. Like, yeah,
yeah, that's why they're so eager to jump in.
yeah.
They're waiting for that.
send me out.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Cause wasn't there a time we were in Cambridge together?
We were in Cambridge together.
I think
yes.
me and my cousin Ronnie. I remember we had to peg the doors with the dice. It was just like a one-on-one fight, but you was just like, I'm going in here. I didn't even know what it was about. Like I'm going to fight
Yeah.
this kid, just make sure I don't get jumped, type
Yes.
of shit.
Yo,
Like,
thank you for that.
yeah, bro. That was
Yeah, that
great.
was,
That's bringing it back, but yeah.
yeah, that was something. We got in an altercation in Billerica, and he got transferred to Cambridge, and he checked out of Billerica, and then I followed him like 2 weeks later, and I arrived there, and I was I think I was on 18 in the max unit, and I saw the dude, and I said something, and his cousin called me out, and was like, you gotta fight him. And I was like, all right. I think we were gonna fight on the roof, and then he didn't want to fight up there, and I had to go on to his unit.
See, my fight was the opposite. The dude was on like the other side. He was on B side, I was on A, or the vice versa. And I was like, yo, tell him go over there. The shower's cold over here. Try to get over there. Get it. He's like, you know, he won't go in the cell with you. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? And you ballsy enough to sit there and steal from somebody's cell, and then not only that, writing from people. And yeah, so it was like, and then my little brother was this. JoJo had just caught his case. My little brother came in on the murder charge, and then I had another boy from my boy Tommy from the street. And you know how Cambridge is. That's a small unit anyway.
Yeah.
So if it's like 4 or 5 of you that know each other, you almost like that's the whole block damn near.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, so I was telling him like, you guys got it. This is like some sex offender shit. I don't know. This is sketchy shit. Chet, you all got to handle that track. Oh, he's saying he's getting set up. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then my brother called everybody on that whole side out pretty much. And I was like, damn, we getting ready to fight people not even involved, whatever. But breakfast came. We all went up. He didn't show up. Lunch came in. I'm like, oh, this dude's not even gonna. And then they called roof call, and I seen him go. And then that was just more like me, like, oh shit, fuck, he really going up to the roof call now. And I ran up there, but it was like not something I wanted to really.
You fought him up on the roof.
Yeah. And then I knew I was gonna get lugged, and I already
Yeah.
knew that I was with my brother, one of the deputies up there, captain at the time, from Cambridge. Was like a substitute teacher, so he knows us. He's like, listen, any trouble, I'm splitting you guys up. So I knew right away. And then, he was facing such a serious charge. Like that was quality time I could have spent with my brother, even if it's in jail. But because I got in the fight, I got shipped out. Cambridge side, went upstate. A month later, and then it was years before I seen him again. And it just, it's crazy, man. But I'm so glad to be out, man.
Yeah,
and be free. And life is beautiful, man.
Life is beautiful.
Like,
It really is.
So I want to ask you, what tips would you give somebody, man? Someone just came home today, man, and they have no direction, no law, like nowhere to go. Any tips you would give somebody?
It's just you gotta have a dream, and it's, you gotta just stay positive. There's gonna be bad days, but you gotta have a dream, something that you're looking forward to, that you're working towards, and just keep yourself busy, and just don't give up.
Yeah, I have always something to work towards. I think helps. I think giving yourself something to look forward to helps.
Yes.
Even like I said, something.
Yes. That's funny you said that, because in Plymouth, I was in a 5-man cell, and the guys used to laugh at me because I'd have a schedule. We'd have the menu for the food, and every night I'd say, all right, tomorrow we got pancakes in the morning. We got the possibility of mail. I would list all these things to look forward
Trying
to,
to be positive, yeah.
And at first they laugh, yo, you're corny, whatever. And then it got to a point where they were looking forward to that every night. What's on the lineup for tomorrow? And here's stuff what we're gonna look forward to.
Yeah, you need to give yourself that, like in life in general and stuff like that. But another thing too is like, I feel like we come out and we feel like we're playing catch up, Like, it's not, you're not in a race with these people who've been on the streets their whole life that you're not in a race with them. Just be better today than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
Be better yesterday be better tomorrow than you were today, so forth, and so on, man. And it's just, I don't know, man.
And I always try to, like, you know, see, like, out of your friends, like, who's doing the best, or it might not even be a friend, but somebody like you know, like a sponsor or something like that, and to, like, set your sights on something, like, I want that, and what step did they take?
And try to pick the brains of people like us who have done it, and you know what I mean, ask questions and try to get leads, and there's work out there too. A lot of people don't want to humble themselves too and take entry-level jobs for entry-level pay, but you come out of jail, you don't have no skills, you know. You try to pick up what you can in there, so you have to get something, at least some sort of income, because you need, just even to get, like, you got to get your ID, you need it. There's so much, but, like, don't overwhelm yourself too much, man.
And
it's a lot.
It's easy to get overwhelmed, so just day by day, you know. Like, when I first came out that first time, I took a job building decks for like $10 an hour, you know. Saved up to get my license.
Yeah, that was a couple of my first jobs when I got out, man. Home Depot was like 12, and then I got another job for about $10 an hour, and then, you know, but it's like, it's easier to get a job when you have a job, I always say. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's definitely easier, and don't get complacent too just because you get a job. Like, there's still be looking if you want. I mean, it depends what you want from yourself, but if you want more, go get it.
Go get it. I like that. If you want to go get it, that hits it on the head right there.
It's out there, man. And man, I'm just super proud of you, man.
Hey, right back at you, man. I think this is awesome what you're doing.
Yeah, man. Anything you want to just add before we wrap this episode up, man? I hope everybody take something from this, man. And I'm so proud of everything you're doing, and honestly, when I did this, you was kind of like the like, that's like the perfect, you was like the perfect, like, no, yeah, like, you, that was like the perfect, this is what I'm really trying to highlight and show people, you know what I mean, that there's other sides to what you may see, you know. You only get one side of it on the news or whatever, man. It's just like, there's a lot more to us. People are so complex. Yeah,
definitely made a lot of mistakes, but I have a good heart. Just try to do good. That's, you know, you try to do the right thing always. That's the number one. And I guess check out my book.
Yeah,
it's available on Amazon. Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah, this is a great book, man. This is your writing technique too, man. I was there with you. You're very descriptive too, man, and funny and stuff too. Like the lingo, all that stuff. I'm gonna drop the link for this in there. I actually dropped the link to it in a Clubhouse chat earlier too, with some people I was talking about, because I was talking about coming on here and all that stuff. So Behind Blue Eyes, John Kenny, get it on Amazon. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bobby, man. This is the Bounce Back. Stay free, people. Stay free.
Bounce back, you got a moment. When they see you down, just know they love it all.